If you are looking for growth, if you are looking for transformation, if you are looking to step into your main character era, look no further than The Green Room. DM me on socials to find out more about my all-new community available at just 99 cents a month for my first 100 subscribers. Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to my platform. I could not let this day end without hopping on to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there in my audience. Whether you are a mom, an auntie, a grandma, a cousin, a fur mom, a pseudo mom, if you have mothered someone in any way, Happy Mother's Day to you. The world is such a better place because mothers exist. Love on the mothers in your life. It is imperative. So this weekend, I went home in FC and hung out with my family, my friends. We had my niece's birthday party. I took my oldest son to see my mother. We hung out today and I got to see my baby cousin Ziza, like truly one of my heartbeats. And I made the most of the weekend despite the fact that Archer is still in residential treatment. And so for those of you who reached out and sent like a special prayer or a special text or just called to check on me, thank you for that. Like I can't even put in the words the value of my village and how much y'all love me and how much that love is reciprocated. So I love y'all. So as I said, I went home. And so when I go home, I have to suit up in my emotional boundaries. Okay. And so sometimes people are like, Kayla, what's an emotional boundary? So we've been talking a lot this month about boundaries in general. And we really talked about perimeters, like standards, rules for interaction with me. If you do this, we won't do that, those kinds of things. An emotional boundary is the boundary that you set around your mental and emotional health. And you guys know that I prioritize peace over everything. If something costs me my peace, it's too expensive and I don't care who you are. And so when I go home, much like probably when you guys go home, because we talk about this in the holidays, your family has what we call homeostasis. And that means that everyone has a role to play. That's how everybody functions. It's what's normal in your family, right? And so I have two older sisters, my mom, my dad. There's just a dynamic that you have. Every family has this, right? When you go home, no matter how long you've been away, no matter how far you've moved away, when you go home, something inside you clicks. And it's like suddenly you function as you did when you were that little kid. It doesn't matter how long it's been. And so your sister is the hero and this sister is the black sheep, or you're the black sheep or the bad guy, the mascot. All of these things happen. And it's almost as if you don't have control over it, but you actually do. And you do that by setting emotional boundaries. So what that means is you decide on the front end what you are going to discuss, what you're not going to discuss, and that it's okay if someone is offended by you setting a perimeter around your peace. So emotional boundaries can sound like a lot of things. And I think on Friday, I shared a post of 7. We're not going over 7 today, but an emotional boundary might sound like, you know what? I really appreciate you asking me and that you're concerned, but that's really personal. And I don't want to discuss that. Can we talk about something else? That's an emotional boundary. An emotional boundary might sound like, you know what? Our conversation, I feel like we're spinning our wheels. We're not getting really, really far. Can we just pause this for the evening and come back to it at a later time? I don't have the emotional bandwidth. That is an emotional boundary. It's letting someone know that I'm not discussing this. This is getting out of hand. Or another thing might be, I'm just coming up with these off the fly. Another thing might be you're sharing something and someone starts giving you advice and you're like, okay, I'll look into that. You don't have to be like, yes, I accept your advice. The other thing might be, thank you. I actually wasn't looking for advice. I've already made my decision. People are going to be offended, but that's okay because you're entitled to make decisions for yourself. You're entitled to control your own narrative. And so when we set those emotional boundaries, we basically say, this is what I'm discussing. This is what I'm doing. I don't want to talk about this. And then you get to remove yourself from the situation if the person presses, Or, as I like to say, is it seems like you're pushing back against my boundary. That makes me really uncomfortable. And the fact that you're willing to state that you recognize that someone is pushing back on your boundary typically is enough to make them back off. And if they say, I'm not pushing back against your boundary, then you say, good, then this conversation is over. What do you want to grab for dinner? Like moving forward, moving on, right? So that is what emotional boundaries are all about. Let me know in the comments if you practice some of those or one of them that you liked that you might be using in the future. I'd love to hear it. If you've been rocking with me, you know this Wednesday I am kicking off a Boundaries Bootcamp. It is a 3-day free masterclass that I'm doing in Telegram. I will put the link down in the comments, but you can do this self-paced. The information is going to be up from the 15th through the 20th, and I am teaching you all sorts of things. What is a boundary? How to strengthen your boundaries? How to process and deal with the guilt and shame that comes with creating boundaries for people that you love. And I'm also going to be teaching you the 5 types of boundaries that are absolutely essential for long-term success and happiness. All of that is going down this week in the boot camp that kicks off on Wednesday. I think I have 8 people in there already. So, hey, y'all 8 people, tag a friend, invite them. You are not going to want to miss this. Boundaries are essential. Perimeters promote peace. So get in there. We're going to have so much fun. Oh, and tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Central Time, the 100th episode of the Girlfriend's Guide to Starting Over podcast drops, and I'm super excited about it. I will be revealing the newest podcast art. So thank you guys so much for those of you who love the podcast, who support the podcast. Y'all are the truth. I tell y'all tomorrow in the episode, so I won't say it right now, all the places, it's got, it's hot. It's hot. And so I'm super impressed. I'm super proud. And I cannot tell y'all enough how grateful I am to have you in this community and to have this platform and have this opportunity to be a beacon of hope and light and transformation. Yeah, that's all. So happy Mother's Day. Happy everything. Have an excellent week on purpose. I love you and I cannot wait to see you. And as always, I cannot wait to see your transformation. Boundaries, baby. I can help you get them. Bye, girl.